Okay, so I've spent the last hour trying to figure out how I can record a video of myself while also showing you all a PowerPoint on my screen. And I did find a way to do it on Mac, but with Windows it's really difficult. And if anybody knows how, please let me know. All I want to do is record a PowerPoint, and I want to have my face in the upper right hand corner of the screen while I'm playing the PowerPoint, but that has not been able to work so far. But I did want to tell you all about the research I'm doing at Capella University. Um, the title of my research is Mental Health Support Policies for Employees, an analysis of leadership training in public agencies. And by the way, my name is Mark Hammond Baker. I live in Mississippi near Jackson, and I work at a psych hospital in mental health. And that's part of the reason I was inspired to do this research. Um, the purpose of this research is to find out what kind of mental health support leadership training policies are currently in existence for public agencies, and we want to know the nature about these policies and ask the who, what, when, where, and why questions related to these policies. Examples of questions that I want to answer are things like, how should a middle and lower manager respond to the mental health issues of their employees? What policies or curriculum do managers and public agencies follow to train leadership of their organization about employee mental health? How do these public policies about mental health affect the hiring, firing, and promoting process? I researched a variety of articles, and in one of the articles, a team of experts got together and they discussed the issue of mental health. These were people in CEOs of big businesses, and this research article will help me to understand how businesses and organizations are currently thinking about the mental health processes. I'm not going to go into great detail about each article that I studied, but I did find a handbook of health administration management, and that's going to be helpful. The other topics that my research is going to address is the EAP program at work. And for those of you who don't know what EAP is, it's the Employee Assistant Program. And most places who have an EAP program will send you to a therapist for free. And it's reported that about 70% of people with mental illnesses are currently employed. And so this research is going to focus on how do people with mental illness be successful at their jobs? How can leadership at the organization work together with employees with mental illness to achieve the best result? Something else you should know is that the EAP programs are not enough to promote mental health at the workplace. There has to be a collaboration between leadership, senior leadership, middle leadership, and lower leadership, and the associates to promote mental health at the workplace. There has to be a collaboration. One study showed that playing video games helped with mental health. Something you should also know is that people with mental illness are often stereotyped incorrectly as dangerous, untrustworthy, or cognitively impaired. And this does affect them detrimentally and causes them to face extreme discrimination and exclusion from social groups, discrimination at work, and exclusion from social groups at work is something I'm going to focus on, because that alone can affect someone's mental health, and if you already have a mental health issue, it can make it a lot worse. My research is going to address stigma and stereotyping of mental illness. And remember, the topic of my research is mental health support policies for employees, an analysis of leadership training in public agencies. Like I was saying, social inclusion and exclusion of people with mental illness is a very big topic of this research. Social inclusion is a social right, and people with mental illness recover from their episodes they have when they're included in the social network. We need to focus on neurodiversity of employees. Some words you might not have ever heard of include neurodivergent, neurodiversity, neurotypical, and neurominority. And a goal of this research is to do a literature review and discover how neurodiverse adults, which include people with ADHD, Tourette's, bipolar, schizophrenia, autism, and dyslexia, how people who are neurodiverse become successful or are successful at work, and what their managers do to contribute to their success. Neurodiversity is a huge topic in this research, and let me see. We need to focus on the needs of people with mental illness while they're at work. Instead of ignoring their needs, discriminating them, putting them down, and making their life hell, we need to figure out what needs do these people have and how can we help meet these needs so that these employees can be better associates for our organization. How can we make somebody who's mentally ill one of the best employees that we have? Personally, this research is very important for the community, but it is also for me personally, because as a person with schizophrenia, I know how difficult it can be to have a job and go to work and not telling people about my illness. And when I first told someone about my mental illness, a lot happened. Social stigma could be a reason that people with mental illness are less likely to have a job, because we have hospitals, we have medication, we have therapy on all these treatments that these people go to, and yet they're still one of the demographics who have the highest rates of unemployment in America today. So we want to know, why do these people who are getting all this help still not have a job? What can we twerk in our treatment plans to help these people be contributors to society instead of nuisances and burdens and moochers? We want not that these programs that help them are bad. I'm glad these people are getting help, but we want to focus on what policies can we create as an organization to help people who have a mental illness be successful at our organization. We want to know how to help these people be successful, and not just include people who are mentally healthy, because the research shows that if your business is inclusive of neurodiverse populations, will be more successful. But right now, as it is, in places like Norway, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Australia, Sweden, Belgium, Denmark, the UK, Australia, and the United States, in all 10 of those countries, people with mental illness are less likely to have a job than people who don't have a mental illness. And the goal of this research is to find out the reasons why. Is it just because they can't handle a job, or is it because people at their jobs don't know or don't have the policies in place or don't have a support network that will give a cushion to these people to help them be successful at their job? What policies are there, or what policies could there be that will contribute to building people up instead of breaking them down? My research in the end is going to include an experiment. After I do the initial literature review, I will do an experiment. I'm working on my research proposal right now so that my experiment can be approved by Capella so that I can start collecting information. I don't have all the details about what kind of experiment I'm going to do, whether it's going to be qualitative or quantitative, what kind of information I want to collect. But after I do this literature review and start getting deep into this research, I'll have a better idea. And I do want to get my doctorate degree in either political science or experimental psychology, but doing this research, I'm really leaning towards experimental psychology. I do have a bachelor's in psychology, and statistics was really hard, but I did get through it. So, thanks for listening, and I'll see you all in the next video. Hopefully I'll learn how to share a PowerPoint with you all next time, but this did work out okay without the PowerPoint. But I did get some main points for this video off the PowerPoint that I created, and it was actually better to create this video because the PowerPoint had a lot of information that didn't need to be shared with YouTube and Facebook because it was just for school, but it was about like exact details about the research. But I gave y'all a general overview, and yeah, this is my first official YouTube video. That other one, well, this is technically the second, but the other one didn't have my face in it. It was just a PowerPoint recording of my screen and my voice, but this one had my face in it. You can see my purple hair, so have a great day, everyone.